Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Fan Shaw Fuel. We've got an absolute monster of a game today. I'm Godly Parrot. I'm joined by the wonderful Newt. Newt, how you feeling, man?
I'm feeling excited, and I'm ready to see how our Fuel Esports roster does up against a bit of a behemoth here in
Mm-hmm.
University of Calgary in our CEN tournament, showcase, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fuel definitely had the underdogs in this
Yep.
one. The divisions are a little bit different, but we'll see how they can end up doing if they can punch their weight up. But we'll take a look at our roster to see how they're going to be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
As you'll see, Bugaboo Artemis as your back line, as per usual, your support line. Door and Spark going to be your DPS, and then Spark may switch in and out here and there. And then Scummy, pretty much going to be your standard tank player.
Mm-hmm.
So, we've seen this team kind of grow into their own style. They really like to play these rushed comps. They like to play the ground tanks. They're not
Mm-hmm.
going to see as much dive out of this team. Scummy doesn't really love to play a lot of those dive tanks outside of maybe the Diva here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But if we take a look at the bracket here, we'll see Fuel going up against University of Calgary. Now, no matter what happens, we will be having two matches today because
Mm-hmm.
losers still end up fighting out in the lower round qualifier. But if they win, they will go up to upper round. So we'll see if they can match up against University of Alberta or RMC.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, they have to get through this first match here versus Calgary, and it's still just going to be a tough task.
Yeah, University of Calgary has a very good history, competing on the level of like St. Clair's. Like they very much can bring the heat, and our guys here at Fuel here, we had some conversations with them. They're I think they're very self-aware of their situation, and but that being said, though, I'm confident. I think we can do it. We've seen underdogs come out before. It's the best kind of story. Everyone loves Rocky, right? So, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's definitely doable, right?
Hmm.
If they play to their strengths, if Calgary just kind of underestimates them, they can sneak those two games out here,
Hmm.
and you really just need once you get the ball rolling, you can really start to take over.
Hmm.
He as well, the coach here, has a very good idea of how his team is able to play, how
Hmm.
to draft around his team. So I think the ban phases will go exactly how they want to. I
Hmm.
think you're gonna see the optimal comps, and I think despite maybe a bit of somber feeling because they are definitely playing that underdog role, I think Fuel is ready to punch up, and I think they're ready to give this their A game to
Hmm.
try to find the answer, try to find the breakthrough to beat again such a Goliath as Calgary here.
Yeah, and you know what, folks, it's gonna be an awesome match, but we're gonna take a quick break, so stay tuned.
I close my eyes, it's not a dream. There's so much more that I can get. Let me wonder what we could have been. You were a smile that I couldn't keep. Close my eyes, it's not a dream. 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 There's so much more that I can get. Let me wonder what we could have been. I close my eyes, it's not a dream. You were a smile that I couldn't keep. I close my eyes, it's not a dream. I close my eyes, it's not a dream. 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 Money got me like.
Welcome back, everybody, as we head into our first game of University of Calgary versus Fuel Esports here at the Canadian Nationals. We'll be seeing Calgary banning the Sojourn away from Fuel, which is Door's patented pick. It's his most played by far. And Fuel going to respond with a Winston ban, as they don't love playing those dive comps. So we'll see a Zarya mirror coming out here on a Busan Control Center, as you're going to see very similar comps. You see, double flex the DPS here for University of Calgary. There is the Cassidy for Door, which can really make some magic happen, as you're going to be seeing Kiri Lucio versus Kiri Juno. An interesting comp coming out from Fuel. You don't see Juno all the time for Bugaboo.
Yeah, very much a very mobile character. You're seeing here from Calgary, you're going like your Kiri and Clive or your Lucio. So just very much a movement phase playing around. Both teams kind of playing into that hybrid brawl here, as we are seeing Fuel losing this first point, although they're just starting to capture. They're slowly trying to just make it out, and now playing around these chokes are so difficult if you can't really make any headway. And we're seeing just the amount of verticality that Calgary here they're playing off, just moving so much. They're playing around so much here. We're seeing already Lizzie's going for these flanks, and already you're just running right into this fight. Picking off one, picking off two. Your Genji is about to go down here. Fight. You see, Juno's getting picked off in the back line. That is why she doesn't have such good defensive capabilities. It's much more supporting. So
Fuel is winning this. Fuel got 2 picks off of the back of Door, finding those crucial kills. Now, just pocketing Door is not going to be able to keep him alive, as Zarya has full charge, and Bagel is shredding through the health bars of Fuel here. Scummy forced to run away. Full charge as well, but how that LQD is back here, it's a little bit hard. Pulse Bomb does get bubbled away right there by Scummy, but Lizzie's going to find Artemis here, and Scummy's going to lose the Zarya 1v1. So it did end up getting the cap. They got the flip. It's now about even percentage, but it's back to University of Calgary leading here. And now they're going to hold this choke yet again. This high ground was so hard for Fuel to get out of initially. Unless they find those miracle picks, Thor has to find these, as well as Spark is come online. You have a Graviton here for Bagel, as well as Kitsune coming up with 4 ultimates. I'm expecting a grab fairly early. Early Kitsune used here. The grab finds 4, 5. Gonna keep the healing up, keep these boots up. And they used 3 ultimates here from the side of University of Calgary, but it's a clean, actually only 2 ultimates. It was the Kiri ult used from Fuel, but a beautiful investment of the grab. Finds 4, and then the blade behind from LQD to clean up. Put that Genji spray down, just playing with him here. 60% now on point. As they're going to try walking at a high yet again, but now they're going to get Kitsune. They have to kite this one out.
Playing around it. That grab is going to come down. It's going to catch 3. B goes down. That's going to be Fuel, though, not really able to make any headway. That peak was a huge save for Calgary here, as they're going to be cleaning Fuel up. Bugaboo, Door, Sparks still have their ult coming out of this. But, I mean, you're just seeing, pushing through these chokes is so difficult. I'd much rather see them try to split out of this, but it can be difficult if you don't have that kind of coordination here. As Fuel now, Cassidy ult here is not the best ult to have, especially in this kind of situation.
You're looking at Ray. Ray is the main ult here, as Bugaboo drops the Ray, tries to push in, but Door is forced to fight by on the back here. Finds the body shots, though, will get it, as the point is going over towards the way of Fuel, as Spark pulled the blade. Didn't find too much value. Bagel to pick off Spark in the end with a beautiful right click there. Now they might be in trouble, as Bugaboo has to walk away. Scummy, no bubbles now. This Pulse Bomb goes wide yet again from Lizzie. It's just going to hit the floor. Fuel, they're going to struggle to keep this fight up. Thor, that was a good pick there from the High Noon, is going to find Zarya, now finding LQD here with those pot shots from the 6-shooter from the Peacemaker. Thor finding these last cleanup kills, as Fuel fighting back, but now the ultimates are all in favor of University of Calgary. And really, something you're noticing between the comps here is that University of Calgary's comp, they have that defensive ult, so they can play. They can afford to give up that grab, afford to be hit by these. Scummy taking dangerous amounts of health, has to walk away as another grab comes out here, catches 4. The Bagel just gets shredded down. It doesn't matter if the cleanup fight goes the way of University of Calgary. There is still a Zarya up, with both Kitsune lanes getting traded here. Let's see which team comes out on top. Artemis falling means there's no more healing here for the side of Fuel, as the blade is pulled by LQD. And that blade thirsting, it's just going to keep the healing up. You don't need a tank if your DPS can do this much work, which is what LQD is showing. Final Shuriken is going to nail Bugaboo there, and they're going to clean up this first first point, 183, but it's a good, it's a good side here. Fuel, signs of life. They found a bit of their footing, but Bagel switching over to the Diva for that recontest finds the value as they weren't finding too much in the Zarya mirror. Now here, going to be on a little bit more open air, so Door has a little bit more time to kind of play around with this Cassidy shot. We'll see if University of Calgary decides to match that hit scan, or if they're just going to stick to their own double flex here. As again, yeah, this Lucio Kiri just has so much more mobility than Fuel's team has that they can just kind of play how they want. And because they're on this double flex, they're able to play these alpha angles so much more. Lizzie going to go for this teleport out of spawn, which means they're going to have that first touch. Bagel switching over to Diva, not wanting to take the Zarya mirror, as Scummy doing pretty well in it. Fuel sticking to the same comp. They don't want to change anything up here as they take this first fight here on this high ground. As Sir finds these headshots, LQD finds the Widow shot onto Little Spark. Widow very good on this map as you can just find those wide open angles. It's very hard to get onto the Widow here. And already University of Calgary are going to have full control of this point here, and Fuel has to walk in.
Yeah, no, Diva into Zarya isn't the best matchup if you come behind you, as she can just right through that defensive matrix. But here, as we see Delphi doing his best to just keep his tank alive, playing around this Widow. You've got two very low but very agile DPS here that you're playing against. That's Suzu is going to go down, keeping Juno alive. She's trying to force down these just low health characters, and that will be the Kiriko getting dropped there, as well as Little Spark here. They're just trying to contest this site, not really being able to make much headway here. Cassidy, though, is going to take down that Widow, but it just will be a bit too little, too late.
That trade comes in here for Door onto LQD. Lizzie on Lean, really flexing the mechanics a little bit. Some beautiful blink melees, the 180 melees as well, just to keep the pressure up. And that's what happens when you're against one of these top tier tracers. They can really start to run over the map. Spark as well, finding this, keeps being found by these headshots of LQD's Widowmaker. Now looking for the flank, trying to find this Widow, but beautifully rotated around here. And now they're getting marked by their own tracer. Has to dive on with this bubble. But LQD ends up living it out. As now Fi is back here healing up. And the headshot comes out. High Noon, Deadeye in main here for Thor, but it's not going to find anything as Kitsunes are going to have to be invested. But Artemis nowhere near it. Fuel likely to fall over here as the walls come out for LQD, and it's just pot shots. Today the shooting range here for LQD, and they're finding these headshots. No damage, no kills yet. It doesn't matter as the positioning. Aggressive beat here for the side of University of Calgary. They just want to end this one now. They don't want to give Fuel a moment to breathe. Fi does exactly that as Lizzie on Lean as well in the back, following up on these dives, on these rush plays. Fi is Lucio in this Tracer a problem, but Dwarf finding the trade. But again, your Tracer's going to fall as well, so it's even fight here for the side of Fuel. They don't like those odds.
I mean, it's interesting because, like, Bugaboo, you're really just playing to keep your Fury alive. But if you can't do that, then, you're not really getting much value out of Fury. She does have Rally, though, coming out of here. They also have Grab and Diva Bomb from the other side, so we have to see whether or not they can really make something happen. They've got around 20 seconds here to make it happen. As Fuel are slowly getting that push in. The Bugaboo's going to get taken out. That grab will happen. Rally's going to get denied. As Fuel attempt to make something happen on this site, but it just won't be enough. Not enough Nation, not getting any picks from your DPS, and that'll leave second round going to Calgary.
And first map going to head the way of University of Calgary here. First point was very close. Second point, though, the Widow kind of just took over, really. LQD showed that they both have the skills on the flex DPS on that Genji as well as that hit scan. It's a very scary type of DPS to go up against, as we see just the first. This is going to be the Blade on top of a 4-man grab here. So this is really just more cleanup than anything. A good Suzu there from Artemis, but it's not going to stop damage being done here from the side of Calgary. As now Fuel, they'll have their own map pick. They can kind of take it where they want. We'll see if they make any substitutions, any roster changes. They're going to have to find, some sort of answer. They have first ban as well, so they can play around that. The Lucio felt like a problem. The Tracer felt like a problem. The Widow's not really something you're going to ban away. It's really only playable on a couple of these maps. They do have to be scared about going to Junkertown, which is their kind of, go-to escort map. I feel like you might have to ban it there. But we'll see how they're going to, adapt to this, how they're going to adapt in this series. It has only just started, but Calgary is up 1-0.
Yeah, I mean it's quite divisive here. Calgary's probably looking to ban that Zarya just to kind of stop that team coordination. She had she had a lot of great survivability, but I don't think she had like the team. I think your team needs a lot more soaking of damage because especially when you've got your Tracer and your Lucio playing around your flank, you need something to support your back line. And you saw they went Brig there, but that just wasn't quite enough.
It's just a
So
little
yeah.
too late. I mean, yeah, the Brig play could have worked out. It's just the Widow found that shot before the rally could get pulled.
Mhm.
Pretty much guarantees the fight is going to be over. Again, LQD finding a lot of value there. We'll see if Fuel can shut them down in this next map, as Door will be probably back on Sojourn. It's not going to be banned anymore. But we'll take a
Mhm.
short break before that. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to New Queens. This is our push map. And Calgary here. Junker, Soldier, Ilari,
Oh, they're
Link Girl.
they're having some fun here.
They're
for
having
sure.
some fun. And Waylay. Ooh, interesting. Or no, not Waylay.
Wu Young.
Wu Young.
No, wrong game.
Wrong game.
But you know what? Close enough. No, Wu Young here. Very strong.
Diva.
Scummy over to the Diva makes sense. Now the big thing here for Fuel is Woody is going to be
Sojourn.
subbed in, is in on the Sombra. Door subbed out. They're playing double flex here. It's a little bit more wide open.
Mhm.
You don't need those long range anymore. LQD though onto the Woody, gonna miss that first virus. Has to be careful as that Wu Young can really start to fight back. 5 HP in a dream here as the sun shot came in for Sir Sanic. Does not stop, as now the first bot control is going to be over to University of Calgary as Woody to be in trouble. Spark already fallen. getting spy checked there, but is going to live. The Bugaboo falls over in the meantime as Fuel's backline gets walked over. Scummy sent packing. Fuel end up losing this first fight. We'll see how they can end up doing. Now, the bans ended up coming out. Lucio banned away from Fuel. Makes sense. The Lucio was a big problem. University of Calgary banning a character that Fuel does not play.
Nope.
Not having done, not really, just banning based off what's good on the map. This is probably the best ball map in the game. So, it's a good map to ban ball. However, Fuel does not play ball. So, basically getting out with 0 bans against them. They're able to play whatever they want here. This is the comp they love to run on New Queens. This is also the map they feel most confident at. So, if any chance to win this series, at the very least to start it off, this is going to be their best chance. But by finding these shots with the Wuyang Orb is going to be a problem as Little Spark and Bugaboo both going to fall to that as Fuel can just get walked over.
Yeah.
Just playing this constant source of damage here from the side of Calgary, and they haven't been able to find these picks that Fuel's comp really relies on. You need to find these cooldown forcing plays from Woody. You need to find these picks. Hack comes out, manual hack, but doesn't have translocator until it's a little too late. It's just going to be a ultimate building play there. Gets detected, has to be careful. Holding out the hands, finds the hack onto Bagel, who's taken dangerously low. He is going to get finished off by Bugaboo's whip shot. Spark falls yet again in the Tracer mirror here. Fuel fighting their best. Bugaboo stops the pulse bomb on the ground, but he's still going to fall to that blink melee. And Scummy here is now in a dangerous position. Artemis had to TP in aggressively. LQD is going to fall. It's off the back of Scummy falling. However, Woody finds Fi, so Fuel finding their footing here. A late Suzu, though, is going to be a rough one there for the side of Artemis as Woody's going to fall as well. And University of Calgary are going to restabilize Fuel. Still on the deficit here, 73 meters. They do have bot control, but it's going to be recaptured here from the side of Calgary.
I mean, Fuel, you need way more sustain in these fights. You're seeing already just this Tracer's just doing an incredible job on flank, just dominating that backline. Here comes EMP though. We're gonna see an attempt. He's gonna take out the Alari. We're gonna see the Diva or the Tracer does go down as well. Bagel's gonna trade out Scummy and Bugaboo with LQD as Woody here's trying to catch out the Wuyang. I can't quite just get a grip on that character. He is a slippery little guy here as just trying to just get some burning down, trying to delay it as long as possible. Help her team respawn out of this. Junker does have a rampage though. She can definitely turn the tide of the fight easily. There we go. It's going to come down.
Comes in. And now the anti-heal is on board. Bagel finds that Carnage Slash as well, but is taken dangerously low as Spark cleans up Srsanek. Fuel though, LQD finds 3 here with the soldier, and Fuel still on the back foot. The cart has not stopped rolling when he gets headshot with a 180 turnaround by Bagel. And now, University of Calgary getting just that step closer to full capping here. It's a rough one here for Fuel for sure, but they can maybe try to find some sort of footing. They have to win this fight. As a Kitsune comes out, the rush is used, and Fuel fights in. Pulse Bomb does find Bugaboo as the shield was broken. The grab finds some people in main, but it's not enough damage. The only thing it's going to catch is a pylon from Srsanek. However, it does fall as well. LQD, though, still unstoppable here on this soldier. Just has been untouched as Lizion Lean is going to clean up those last couple kills. Now it's desperation touches. The rally comes in for Bugaboo. But it's all it's going to do is stall the inevitable. Fuel are going to get full capped here on New Queen Street in dominating fashion from University of Calgary.
Yeah. I mean, I think definitely there, just the standout LQD in doing an incredible job. 5 great heals just across the board. Keeping himself alive so close in this fight, too, as you can see, just dominating, really helping for that support in the backline there. Not even paying attention to the hack, he's just more focused on his team there. As, yeah, just, I think definitely really great across the board. Yeah, as well, sir, Bagel there on that Tracer, just coming in, being such a nuisance for that Brigitte, just constantly coming in, just taking her out, leaving your Kiri on her own.
Yeah, that round's not going to go how Fuel wanted it to, right? You get what you want, you get your comp, but unfortunately, University of Calgary just kind of runs you over. They don't really give you any time to set up. There's no time to play, those constant turns they like to do. How they like to play this comp, Woody goes in, forces some sort of cooldown, and then the team can capitalize. When Woody goes in to force that cooldown, their whole team's dead already, right? It's just it's not going to be the comp
Mhm.
that they needed in this type of matchup. And the soldier, that self-sustaining DPS, was very helpful to stop the
Mhm.
or that kill pressure from the side of Woody on this Sombra.
Mhm.
Because you don't have that main DPS, you're not going to have that consistent damage to break through the healing. So even though
Mhm.
University of Calgary has that lower healing comp with, that Alari and that Wuyong, who aren't really standout healers, right? Neither are
Mhm.
fully going to be like hitting 10,000 healing in a game. They both heal enough to stop the damage, stop those peppering fires from Fuel.
Mhm.
They're going to have to go back to the drawing board if they want any hope to try to take this series
Mhm.
back, as it's 2-0 lead here for University of Calgary.
Yeah.
Don't go anywhere. We'll see if Fuel can mount a comeback. Welcome back, everybody. Heading into our third map here. We're on hybrid. Map is Midtown. Now, we just were on Canada. Now we're into the United States. A little bit, kind of weird for the Canadian Esports Nationals, but it's the map pool is what the map pool is. As Fuel going to be on attack here to start us out. It's going to be a Sombra Echo front line, or DPS line here for Fuel. So double flanker. The Widow is back here for LQD, as well as Lizzie's going to be over onto the Sojourn as their Tracer was banned out. So a double hit scan comp here for the side of University of Calgary, but I think we'll see how that ends up going as instantly the shield comes out, the Booyong Orbs come out, and there is that Sombra, so it's going to be a little bit harder to play this Widowmaker. You're also back on to this Booyong and this Alari. It is the opposite players being on it this time for the side of University of Calgary. Now the trade is going to find Little Spark, who has to be careful. Woody as well, taken dangerously low. Scummy fighting in main here, though, versus the Ramatra, doing a lot of damage, but there is going to be that headshot from Lizzie on Lean there, with the Sojourn tail going to find both Artemis and the Woody, which means Fuel has to head back to their spot.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not a bit of a backfire, or sorry, a back pedal here, as just not quite getting the picks that you want here. Little Spark, I mean, it's such a difficult thing to push here. Your supports are doing such a good job on the side of University or Calgary there, and as well, Woody just getting domed out of there by Lizzie, just catching her in the invis. I mean, Sojourn is really good against your non-shield characters, even against that Sigma. He doesn't quite have the same shield economy as other characters. So here, yeah, they're just trying to make something happen. I think you're playing your flank characters, but not really playing.
It's hard to flank on this first point, right? Because they have to get through this main choke no matter what. This is exactly where University of Calgary want to fight from. It's so hard to fight into this double sniper, into these double hit scan on this main point. Tidal Blast comes in from Sir Sanic. It's going to force the Ramatra deep into main here to push Fuel out as much as possible, which means the space created is perfect. Woody now does get spotted here by LQD, who looks for a hook shot. He's going to look for this headshot, does not find it, but Woody's not going to be able to hack here, has to just dash away. The Captive Sun comes out from Fi, and it finds two. Fuel, again, sent back to the spawn door. Now, one tick did get taken there from Woody on the back cap, and also found LQD, so taking a little bit of heroics here from the Sombra, who's going to look to try to force point yet again. He is going to get headshot by that railgun from Lizzie here. Fuel, they're still in trouble, but they are finding something. That first cap, that first tick means that if they find their own full hold, they have, they have that chance to win the map now. But they have to find this opening. They don't want to have to rely on full holding a team of Calgary's caliber. The walls are out here for the side of LQD, which means Spark has to be careful. He's chasing in, baiting. Short dash is not going to find its mark as Tidal Blast comes in from the side of Fuel, and it's going to knock down the Ramatra. Bagel over Zealous there, but Lizzie's going to find Woody on those trades. But now that there's no tank, Fuel can kind of just walk it over. Scummy switching over to the Ramatra, able to fight back against the Ramatra of University of Calgary, which means they have more AoE. They have that more health bar to be able to get through these high damage units of University of Calgary. And now, off of this first point, this double hit scan comp from the side of Calgary is going to be a little bit harder to make work as you see LQD switch over to the Sombra, taking that mirror against Woody.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen D.Va come out here trying to play around that Ramatra, really diving in. Doesn't quite have the support he wants for that back line, but really good at holding that front line. Just getting in there and trying to disrupt it, see what kind of plays she can make here. As Fuel now have the payload and are in a much better position than they were a little bit ago. Making some smart plays, keeping themselves, sustained, playing around cover here. You're seeing Little Spark just trying to contest the side round,
EMP from Woody.
There, taking out one, taking out two. Bugaboo's going to catch Lizzie on the back end there as he gets in, taking out Fi as well. Huge damage, another taking out. And Fuel will absolutely crush this mid.
Woody just took this game into her hands. Found a 5-man EMP to take that fight there for Fuel. It's the only ult they had to invest. Now this D.Va is going to be in trouble here, gets hacked up, and now Defense Matrix is going to fully run out. LQD, though, finds the hack to match onto Woody. He's just going to get this health pack, try to keep this up. Woody has to keep doing these heroics for Fuel to be in it. Spark pulls out the blade, but it's going to fall.
Oh,
but the Captive Sun was just canceled by Woody. Woody taking this map by storm so far. You're really starting to, feel it. As
Yeah.
Gonna take down Bagel here, and it's just LQD and Bagel left. So his pick's gonna come in. The tracking here from Woody. Fuel finding the second point, and they're running over this map.
What is this? Where was this your first two maps? Coming out, absolutely doing incredible work. I think having this map has a lot more space for Woody to work with and getting past that front line, forcing them to space out. And Calgary here, you know, we're seeing their spacing kind of falter a little bit. They're playing a little bit too far, overextending a bit, leaving your Sombra or your Sojourn there in the back line as Woody's trying to take that damage out. Big EMP from the side of Calgary, though, is going to take out one character there. As Little Spark does drop. Delphi is low here, but he's able to get back behind cover as Fuel now pushing into this final point. Want to make something happen. Ramatra has an ult. Bugaboo has an ult. Delphi has an ult. The only thing left is your Diva Bomb.
Sursanic gonna pick off Bugaboo in the neutral here. Now, LQD found a 4-person EMP of their own, but only one person fell off of it. It wasn't as game-winning as Woody's. As Woody finds Lizzie on the back, this Diva switch is just not playing out how Bagel wants it to. Kitsune is going to be used aggressively. Her mind just going to find that damage with those micro missiles. There is Bagel. Scummy, though, the Annihilation walking in main, but a triple kill here for the Diva. Woody, LQD is going to trade out Bugaboo, and now it's just Scummy left in main alone, who has to be careful. Uses that Vortex just to be able to fight back. Has control of the cart yet again. Has this Nemesis form, so they can afford to play aggressive here as they're are here. Artemis is going to be pumping the healing in. The bomb comes out as Scummy just going to push a little bit too aggressive. Woody now has this EMP, but you don't have your tanks. So they're just going to look for a dry pick here. Finds a lot of damage. The Suzu ends up coming out for Fi to keep them alive as Woody forced to TP away. Now looks for another turn. A replay here on Defy. Is not going to be able to get the damage as the team looks back in time, but they're doing the damage they need. Woody has EMP. Spark over to the Reaper to try to fight this main, try to fight these close battles a little bit more. Pump that more damage. EMP comes out. It's going to find 3 from Woody yet again. Just completely taking over this map. These EMPs have been game winning, but it doesn't matter if University of Calgary can find these picks in the later fight, as Fi and Sursanic, the backline of Calgary, are tearing Fuel apart. It doesn't matter that you find this EMP if there's no follow-up. You only find the one pick. Scummy now left alone here in main, and he's struggling.
Yeah, I mean, it's really difficult to push in when that Diva, you know, is so aware, so ready for that dive. He's taking out Delphi, you know, just ready for it, waiting for those picks. And then once that happens, you know, and it's not even your DPS that's getting taken out here, so it's your Fuel getting that push, and we're seeing that big EMP come down. That's going to be Lizzie with a double kill here, with the triple, with the quadra, just cleaning Fuel up on that push. You'll now have one last chance to get to this cart and make something happen. Bugaboo does have his ult. Scummy is coming up on his as well. And then some later, if they can keep sustain, one from Delphi and Death Blossom. We'll have to see. Woody, though, is going to be getting in there. They're all just watching, ready for it. This is such a more difficult place to get those hacks down. That ult is going to be coming from Sursanic, getting in there. Big Genji Blade here, getting in there. That Matcha ult is going to be popped. We'll have to see, can they keep this fight on this cart alive? They're going to have to contest. That Diva Bomb is going to take him out. And Fuel, can they touch the cart in time? No.
Their push is going to stop 47.66 meters into third point. But Fuel, you can be happy with that push. A very good push there. It's hard to get past first and second point here on this map. Getting stopped at third, quite normal as well. And just beautiful plays. Both Sombras really just making miracles happen with their EMPs. 4 5-mans, where the smallest one we saw was a 4-person EMP, which just shows the level of how because of how these teams are fighting. Right, they're playing these rush comps. They're gonna be grouped up a lot more, so you're finding those EMPs. It's just whatever team can capitalize off those EMPs better is going to be the one that finds the success in the end. Now Fuel has to try to find a big hold here on first point, see what comp they roll out with to try to do that, and what University of Calgary is going to run themselves. They might switch over to maybe a dive comp, right? You did see, they've been playing these ground tanks more, but the first map they banned, Fuel ended up banning Winston against them, and on this attack, it's really where you kind of start to shine, as well as the Lucio is going to be back in. So I think Fi might switch back over, done with this double, poke support thing they're playing with either that. The Kiri Wu Young's good, but I don't
I will
love the Wu Young Alari.
I will say though, you don't have as much support on that Winston because Tracer's banned, right? So those picks aren't as opportune. Now, of course, you have other characters, but that's usually the best character to play with it. But we are seeing Bastion and Baptiste here coming out.
Bastion rollout for LQD, just wanting to tear through the health bars of Fuel, who's going to be coming back onto the Sigma. Scummy loves this Sigma on first point defense a lot here. But Sir Cynic's already going to pick off Woody in the back line, and now Fuel has to be careful as their entire front line just going to get walked over. A beautiful lamp there from Sir Sanic is going to get so much value. Fuel to keep this up. Spark over to the Ashe, not a character he plays very often, but it's very good on this defense here. As trying to find these shots. Lean, though, going to find that dash to finish off Spark as the dive turn comes in, and Bagel is zapping through. Woody finds a pick, but it might be too little, too late as Fuel. They're not going to find a hold on this first point. They're going to fold over as pick on Scummy is going to be the last one. Send Fuel back to their spawn rooms as instant cap here for the side of University of Calgary on first point. Fuel, they have to stop them on second or else third is basically a guaranteed loss.
Yeah, I mean, I think from Fuel, we need to see more of that kind of coordination and holding strong together. You know, like you're seeing them just kind of run that in. As soon as they come, everyone diverts, and then you see that play happen. And Woody here getting crushed in the back line. Scummy, though, is going to catch Bagel off, which will delay the push here from Calgary, although it doesn't quite matter too much as they can get a little bit of a free momentum. It's not quite the best spot on this middle part to defend. It's more bridge you want to be looking for. That Winston ult is going to be coming down and gets a kill for the first time in forever. Winston ult can get a
Bastion
kill.
ult, yeah, Bastion ult's going to find.
Bastion
ult's going to find those kills. It's hard once once your cooldowns are all used, once those mobilities are used, you can kite them into the perfect spot. Fuel found the pick onto Bagel, a very good trade, right? Woody for your tank. Like, trading your Sombra for the enemy tank is such a good trade, but Calgary was not deterred. They used that window, they used that Bastion ult, they were ready to fight that. Woody keeps getting stopped in these shots as the enemy turret is going to heal up the team here for the side of Calgary. The Baptiste, very good into the style of comp Fuel's been playing with his pick focus comp. Scummy, though, finds LQD, and now the payload did get out from underneath the bridge here. Fuel to have a little bit of an advantage as there's lacking damage to the side of Calgary, and they're going to capitalize on that as Woody finding the damage. This bubble, though, stopping so much damage from Bugaboo. It doesn't matter as Fuel walk it in. Final hack to pick off Lizzie here as they finally stabilize and win a fight.
Yeah, I mean, they're coming back here. They really want to hold out for as long as they can, get that pillow back under bridge, get it a lot harder to contest, especially against Winston here. You know, give it to Winston. She's got that win, especially when you have that Reaper in your back pocket. They just have to be making sure that they're playing at the right time and playing and getting out of that bubble. As we see here, Little Spark stopping that push. That is going to be a beat getting thrown down to defend against that dive. That's a huge ult burn there.
Yeah, over-invested beat there is going to be a big waste there for the side of Phi. And now Calgary, they're going to struggle for next couple fights. They do have a blade they have as well, that Primal Rage. They're coming up on another window, and LQD did switch over to the Mei. Phi going to switch over. They're playing this double poke kind of backline again. Going to have a lot of healing, but not much mobility, as well as Bagel's really going to struggle fighting into a Reaper. Reaper and Sombra both can really kind of just tear through the health bar of Winston if you're not careful. You know, those shotguns do so much damage on the big body and the big head of Winston. Woody, though, going to find another pick off of this rush here from the side of Artemis, which finds one. Well, they need to find these trades, though they cannot afford a late cleanse. There's going to be a problem as the bomb comes in, but this Primal Rage from Bagel has already picked off both backline members of Fuel, and it's just going to keep it going. Woody finds the trade onto the supports. They're still in a problem as now Scummy going to be falling here on here. He loses his mech. Bagel finding the answer. Fuel will have one more fight left on this point. They have to find it as Lizzie Lean going to look for an early blade pull, and it's going to find one. It's going to find two, and that's going to be enough to full cap. Second point here. The side. Woody, though, going to find this contestation, but I don't know if it's going to be enough as you're not going to have a second touch. They're going to have to give that up as Woody is going to fall as well to a dash from Lizzie. And Fuel, they're now on the back foot. They have to hold here halfway through this point. It's where they can stop it. If it gets further, it's their map loss, and they're going to lose the series here. 3-0. It wants to hold this here, but the ultimates are all in favor of University of Calgary. This Blizzard can take over, and who needs an ultimate if Lizzie finds a beautiful pick onto your backline?
Be a great dive in there, just catching the Weyoung off guard. Delphi here, low on health, does get taken down by the Reaper, so will keep their support alive. Bugaboo, though, is back. He does have his ult to kind of contest this second point here. Woody does have EMP, and we do have a Death Blossom. I think we might see, you know, a Death Blossom plus Weyoung ult here coming out if Fuel can coordinate it, especially against that kind of Blizzard attack. So they want to be very careful with ult usage. That Blizzard's going to be coming down. Fuel Suzu's going to keep Sombra there out of the freeze. Now will be another big EMP from Fuel. Little Spark running down that back line there is LQD is going to go down, and Fuel keep themselves alive once more with 2 minutes, 20 seconds left remaining in this fight. Anything can happen. It is Fuel here with an absolute valiant effort in this fight. I mean, this map has been really good, so yeah.
The ults favor Fuel here. They can definitely hold this one if they stagger these ults correctly. The only ult you have to be worried about a lane blade here, the side of Calgary. Are those dry picks from LQD who's going to switch over to Cassidy, which can do so much damage. Woody is going to fall. Kitsune and the Weyoung ult invested here for Fuel, but they have not found much value. LQD does fall to the stun of that Tidal Blast. It's not enough, and you're investing 2 ultimates. The enemy team did not invest anything. Coming up on this Kiri, this Rush, and this Blade, which can tear through the health bars of Fuel. And the hopes and dreams of the series. Spark, though, a beautiful Death Blossom as well as Woody picking up both backliners. So there's no healing here on the side of Calgary, and that means Fuel's going to be able to clean up. There is a trade onto Spark, but it's not enough.
Well
Played by the backliners of Fuel, who are going to find those picks exactly when they're needed. Woody and Spark, the DPS, finding those trades on to the supports just means you don't have the ability to sustain, and now there's actually no ultimates here on the side of Calgary. You only have a bomb for Fuel. You have to build up one of these ultimates very quickly, as you're soon going to be fighting in to a window and a high noon. You have to be careful here if you're Fuel. There's 1 minute left on the clock. They can hold this.
They can absolutely, and I think a well-timed Diva Bomb can definitely catch that backline off guard. They don't have a shield. Woody is going to be taken out by Lizzie, though, which will give them a bit of momentum here. That Baptiste ult is going to be coming down, but it's an awkward angle. If Fuel can kind of back up here, that they can play around this, not give up as much space here, as Diva is going to be diving. Delphi going to go down. Both the Fuel supports are going to go down. That panic Diva Bomb will come out, and Fuel here having to hugely concede this point. Big ult play from the side of Calgary will allow them. Woody here doing her best to keep this point delayed as long as possible. Can they make something happen? It won't be enough. Calgary will take map 3 and win the series.
Yeah, Calgary, you know, coming out swinging here, but Fuel, a fantastic effort on this map. It really felt like they started to find their footing, found what they needed to succeed. It just wasn't enough in the end, as you know, some picks came over in that last fight, and then Fuel just kind of get walked over. The only ult you really had was that Diva Bomb, which you're just going to use to remech. It didn't stop, you know, Bagel and the rest of Calgary from walking over you, and he was just kind of running over. But again, I mean, really well played. Woody finding those crucial EMPs, that manual hack onto the Alara to cancel the ultimate. Scummy finding that crucial damage. Bugaboo and Artemis both finding great healing, great ultimate usage, as well as those headshots. And then you see Spark, you know, switching over that Reaper, shredding through the health bar of the tank of Calgary. But again, it just wasn't quite enough to take it in the end. But Fuel, they're not done yet. They do have another match. If we look at our bracket, oh, never mind. We'll be seeing Fuel heading into their next map.
Yeah, I mean, just across the board, I think it was definitely a valiant effort. They came out, I think we really saw them grow and kind of adapt and learn against Calgary. Unfortunately, it was a bit too late. But that being said, I believe we're going to jump to the standings here as we look at, now Alberta came on top of RMC Canada, so that would be them facing off against Calgary. While RMC will face off against Fuel here. I'm interested to see.
I'm interested to see the level of RMC, right? I haven't seen much about this team. Now, we went in knowing what Calgary was going to be about because it was the team we knew, right? The team talking to them, they understood kind of the level of a team they were going to be fighting. But versus RMC, this is an unknown quantity. There's not much information here is that it's going to be a very quick match. They're
Mhm.
getting into it right away after losing a 3-game series to see if Fuel can bounce back. But this team, if anything, has a very strong mental. They never really get bogged down after a loss,
Mhm.
which is something that's so crucial for a team. So I think this 3-0, I don't think they're going to be too discouraged. I think they're going to look to try to take this match against RMC.
Yeah, and it will be an absolute blast of a match to watch as we take a quick break here before we jump into it.
Money got me like.